There's a reason David Goggins became a legend. It's not because he ran 100 miles on broken legs, or broke pull-up records, or survived Hell Week twice. It's because he learned how to do one thing that most people never master. He trained his mind. He didn't just build muscle, he built mental armor. And that's what separates the extraordinary from the average. Not genetics, not luck, but the ability to command your mind when every part of you wants to quit. So today, let's go deep into the psychology of it. Let's unpack how to train your mind like David Goggins, and what it truly takes to become uncommon among the uncommon. 1. The mind is the real battlefield. Most people think life is a physical battle. They chase fitness, wealth, success, but their minds stay soft. What Goggins understood early on is this: it's never the body that breaks first, it's the mind. Your mind quits long before your muscles do. Your thoughts surrender before your body ever reaches its limit. So if you want to become strong, truly strong, you don't start with your body, you start with your beliefs. You start by challenging the stories your mind tells you. The ones that say, I can't, it's too hard, I'm not ready. The mind's first job is to protect you, but its real purpose is to push you beyond what you thought possible. You just have to stop confusing comfort with safety. 2. The 40% rule. Here's one of Goggins' core principles, and it'll change how you see yourself forever. When your mind tells you you're done, you're only at 40% of your potential. Think about that. When you feel exhausted, defeated, and ready to stop, you still have 60% more in the tank. Your mind puts a ceiling on your performance long before your body does. So the key isn't to avoid that voice, it's to recognize it. When it whispers, stop, that's your signal to go further. When it says, you can't, that's the door to your next level. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the initiation into your untapped potential. That's what Goggins calls callousing the mind. Just like your hands develop calluses from friction, your mind develops resilience through repetition. Every time you push through, you make your mind stronger, thicker, tougher, until the impossible becomes familiar. 3. The accountability mirror. Goggins had what he called the accountability mirror. Every morning he'd look himself in the eyes and tell the truth. No filters, no excuses, just brutal honesty. He'd write his weaknesses on Post-it notes and stick them on the mirror. Fat, lazy, undisciplined, harsh? Maybe, but real, absolutely, because the mirror doesn't lie. It reflects who you are, not who you pretend to be. And that's where change begins. Not in motivation, not in hype, but in self-confrontation. The most dangerous lie you can tell is the one you tell yourself. You can't fix what you refuse to face. So ask yourself, what truth are you avoiding? What weakness are you hiding behind excuses? Face it, and that's when the transformation begins. 4. Callous your mind through discomfort. People today avoid discomfort like it's poison, but Goggins runs toward it, because that's where the growth is. Every cold morning, every brutal run, every moment when his body screamed, stop. He was training something deeper. He was conditioning his mind to stop negotiating. See, the mind is like a muscle. It needs resistance to grow. No resistance, no strength. Every time you do something you don't want to do, wake up early, go for the run, say no to temptation, you're adding another mental rep. You're building toughness at a level most people never reach. Discomfort is the gym where discipline is built. And comfort is the graveyard of growth. 4. Callous your mind through discomfort. People today avoid discomfort like it's poison, but Goggins runs toward it, because that's where the growth is. Every cold morning, every brutal run, every moment when his body screamed, stop. He was training something deeper. He was conditioning his mind to stop negotiating. See, the mind is like a muscle. It needs resistance to grow. No resistance, no strength. Every time you do something you don't want to do, wake up early, go for the run, say no to temptation, you're adding another mental rep. You're building toughness at a level most people never reach. Discomfort is the gym where discipline is built. And comfort is the graveyard of growth. 5. Detach from emotion. Focus on execution. Most people live their lives ruled by feelings. If they feel motivated, they work. If they don't, they stop. But Goggins doesn't operate on emotion. He operates on execution. He doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it?" He asks, "What needs to be done?" The key to mental toughness isn't to eliminate emotion, it's to detach from it long enough to do what's required. You don't need to feel ready, you need to move anyway. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. 6. The power of the cookie jar. When Goggins faced pain or fear, he'd reach into what he called his cookie jar. It wasn't filled with sugar, it was filled with memories. Moments when he'd overcome before, times when he proved himself wrong. When life got hard, he'd mentally reach into that jar and say, "You've been here before. You didn't quit then. You're not quitting now." That's the secret to building self-belief. You don't find confidence. You build it through evidence. Every small victory, every obstacle you overcome is a cookie in your jar. So when your mind says, "I can't," you can remind it, "I already did." 7. The mind's greatest trick. The self-doubt loop. The mind has a funny way of keeping you safe. It whispers doubt disguised as logic. You don't have the time. You're not ready. You failed before. It feels rational, but it's fear wearing a suit. And if you listen to it long enough, it becomes truth. That's the self-doubt loop. And the only way to break it is through evidence. Action is the antidote to doubt. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way into it. Even the smallest step forward silences the loudest fears. 8. Redefine what's normal. David Goggins lives by one rule: be uncommon among the uncommon. That means raising your standards, not just above average, but above excellent. If running 5 miles feels hard, make it 10. If you're scared to speak up, speak louder. If you're tired, go again. Because every time you do what others won't, you redefine your baseline. What used to be your limit becomes your warm-up. What used to break you becomes your foundation. Growth isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. 9. The mind and the soul. Why pain is necessary. Pain isn't punishment, it's purification. It burns away weakness, ego, and doubt until only truth remains. That's why Goggins embraces pain, not because he loves suffering, but because he understands what it creates. Pain is the portal through which the strength is born, and you can't avoid it forever. If you do, it just becomes regret. You can't grow in the comfort zone. You can't evolve without exposure. So the question isn't, how do I avoid pain? It's, how can I use it? 10. Becoming unbreakable. Becoming unbreakable doesn't mean you never fall. It means no matter how many times you fall, you rise stronger. Every failure, every setback, every scar, that's mental scar tissue, protection for the next round. Because life will test you. It's supposed to. That's how you build calluses, not just on your hands, but on your spirit. When you train your mind like Goggins, you stop running from struggle and start running toward your evolution. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." Here's the truth. You don't have to be David Goggins. You just have to think like him. You have to stop negotiating with your potential, stop protecting your comfort, and start honoring your capacity. You are capable of so much more than your mind allows you to believe. The difference between you and the person you admire isn't talent, it's tolerance. Tolerance for pain, for boredom, for persistence. Every day you choose the harder path, you're sculpting a stronger mind. And one day when life hits you, and it will, you'll realize you've built something unbreakable inside. That's the goal. Not perfection, not applause, but unbreakable focus, discipline, and self-respect. Train your mind like David Goggins, and you won't just survive the storms. You'll walk through them, calm, focused, relentless. Because the mind, once trained, becomes your greatest weapon. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below, like, subscribe, share, and press the notification button to follow for more inspirational video posts every week.